Jenny Cross. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Excellent, excellent. So why don't we get started by sharing a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I am a holistic health counselor, and what that means is I actually do have my license in counseling and a certificate in holistic nutrition. I started off with my BS in health ed, wanted to be a health educator, but then as I got involved in the community, realized I really wanted to understand human behavior and the reasons why we become addicted to things. I became a counselor and then began authentic living wellness a few years ago after getting licensure and graduating and getting the letters after my name just to kind of make myself feel better about it. And then
Right.
I now kind of travel around communities, teaching about health and wellness, really focusing on the problem of food addiction in this country and the solution to
That,
that problem.
that's great. So what made you decide to go in a business like this?
I've always had a passion for teaching health. And, after my kids were grown and I was going to have a lot of time on my hands with them not being home, I realized, I really do want to be a health educator and I need to make money while doing what I love. And so I saw a need in the community of a need for free wellness talks for people to learn about how to live a healthier lifestyle in this 21st century, which is it's so hard. So I make the classes very simple and easy to understand and always providing a solution as well as, of course, one-on-ones and follow-up for people who want to continue on working with me. That's a whole other conversation. But I got into it because I have a passion for helping people live a healthy, wonderful life.
Right.
And I'm very, very angry about what's gone on. I'm angry about what's gone on in the food system in America, what it's done to our kids, what it's done to our people in general. It's weakened our society. So I have a real passion for teaching the truth.
No, and that's great. And we need people like you out there. Yeah, and usually, when people choose a profession and they're so passionate behind it, they've had personal experiences that have hit them, where it counts. And I know for me, I mean, having experiences with doctors and in medicinal practices in general has led me down the holistic path as well. And so I don't know, has there been any personal experiences that kind of triggered this whole movement that you're?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Being totally transparent, just even as a child, um, with food allergies and people not really understanding why I wouldn't want to eat certain things or overeat certain things, and just even as a child reacting to the preservatives and the bad food that was out there in the 70s and 80s, and always being sick as a kid, as a
Mhm.
young person, got to the point where I just stopped eating because I was so tired of being sick with everything I would eat. And then, which is why I went into eating disorders, and I really do work with people with eating disorders and or disordered eating behaviors because, of course, I have that background. I understand it. I've lived it. It's why I developed the passion for teaching health. And when I figured out what the secret is, the secret to it. And so I
So
thought, well,
what
I
is the
got to
secret?
share
What's
this.
the secret? You can't tell secrets without sharing. What's the secret?
I knew that was the next question. The secret is it starts with self-love and compassion and loving yourself in the moment, in the present moment. I don't care if you are 400 pounds. You must love yourself now, today. And that's what I teach. Self-loving thoughts, making self-loving choices. It's an easy statement. It's not so easy to do when you live
Right.
the life of negative self-thought and beating yourself over and over again about a diet that's not designed to fail. The food is designed to make you addicted so you continue to eat the bad food so you are a repeat purchaser. It goes into so much more than that, but when we get out of that and we begin to eat real food, we begin to actually be able to think a lot clearer when we have those bad chemicals out of our system, and healthy choices become much easier. So again, it begins with self-love. The secret is self-love and acceptance and eating real food.
Excellent. So you don't need to work anymore because
there it is. I'm really very transparent, and I that's it. But it's just easier said than done, which is why coaching helps somebody, and also the counseling aspect of what I do. It's so important because really what I teach is a model of holistic, that does really a 360-degree aspect of why is the food such an issue. We look at your past, we look at relationships, your career, physical activity, spirituality, creativity, your education, finances. We're looking at everything really besides the food at first because it's not really the food. You can eat fast food once in a while and you can eat a donut here and there. It's really not the food. It's so much more than that. And that's where the counseling and the really getting into why it's become an issue works. It just really works.
Right. No, I could see. And, I'm not perfect myself. I've battled with weight loss my whole life. I've been up and down. I call myself the Oprah, the Oprah effect, because, she's gone up and down, left and right. And, I really didn't get control over it until, I started focusing on my eating habits. And so everything that you're saying is like resonating, with me big time. So
good.
You're doing great work. It's exciting to see people like you out there, and we just need to get more and more people focused on this, especially with the kids growing up nowadays. We try to do the best we can with our children, but I'm sure it's a tough job out there, So we commend you for doing what you do.
Thank you.
So what gets you most excited about the people that you work with, or just the education that you're teaching out there in general?
Changing people's lives within 5 days. When someone texts me at 10 o'clock at night, something like, oh my God, this is the first night I haven't binged in 2 years. I cannot believe I have no desire to eat. This is some crazy beep. People, people just texting me, calling me with these amazing life changes, what we call in the business a cognitive shift, which is making a permanent life change in as quick as 5 days. Ideally, it's a 2-week thing. But that's why. Because, like I said, I've experienced it. When I figured out what it was for me, I want to share that with other people. Not one thing works for everybody. I do believe in that concept of bio-individuality. Is one diet does not work for everybody. You have to find, and that's the other reason why the personalized wellness programs that I give work, because we're building your program. You're not following somebody else's program.
Right.
And so I think the biggest payoff is the results I see in the women that I work with. In the people that I work with, is the lives being changed. And because especially when I work with women or parents, they're also teaching their children, and then their family and their husband begins to look at food different. So of course, that's why I think any mental health or holistic health or any health professional, we do what we do because it helps people, and there is nothing better on earth than seeing someone smile and really genuinely be happy with themselves finally, maybe the first time their whole life.
That's excellent. And you said the magic word. So you've seen the results in your life and you want to pass it on to others. I've heard that probably 100 times in these interviews that I've done. So, it's just great. It's great to hear people that are taking, what they've learned and passing it forward, paying it forward to people. So that's excellent. So, I'm sure with the work that you do, you have to do a lot to stay sharp and stay on top of your game. And it sounds like, you do a lot to keep up with the letters at the end of your name. But what else do you do to stay sharp? Sorry.
Oh, I love this question. The reason I'm in my car is because after this interview, I am going into a hot yoga class. So exercise is key. to keeping that mental alertness, obviously I'm going to say food, real food with no preservatives. You know, I say eat anything that God made. You're going to be okay. You know, so keeping a clear mind. It's really important for practitioners who are giving of themselves every day to be really mindful of self-care. So I get frequent massage therapy done, exercise, eating well, educating myself constantly. I'm in, I don't know if you know, I'm a part of a team in the world, one of 12. We're writing the first book on the treatment of food addiction that's going to be given to MDs and other medical students, holistic health practitioners. So that's super exciting. So I was able to get on a team to do that. So always keeping myself really at the forefront of what's going on in holistic medicine. So you do a lot of reading, and I'm sure you all do, you know, when you're in your own business. The learning never stops. The growing never stops. I'll also take frequent, this is true, vacations from my job about every 6 weeks, 4 or 5 day trip to North or South Carolina, or getting away from from my books, from my research, from my studies, doing something fun, because that spurs on creativity. For me,
nice. No,
I've got to get away from. I got to get back into nature. I've got to connect with family. And then I get back from something like that, and I just have this surge of creativity and excitement about what I do. And I bring that to my clients. I bring them a new resource, or you bring that energy back to them.
Nice.
And that's important.
No, yeah, I agree 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I always ask this question because it's fun to hear. So if you were sitting down with yourself back when you started, and you had a chance to kind of share some of the learnings that you've experienced over the years, or maybe it's a new, you know, somebody that's contemplating taking that leap themselves, what type of advice would you give yourself at that point?
Oh, that's another good question. Don't stress so much. It's going to be okay, number one. Because that beginning, it seemed like I could not soak up enough information fast enough to do what I wanted to do. So just understand that this is a process. I've probably been building this for 5 years, and really intensely over the last 3. So, and then when you're out there in the beginning, you're constantly comparing, or I was comparing to every other health practitioner out there. Oh my God, her website is so amazing. How do I do that? And she's so great at speaking. I can't ever do that. There was a lot of negative self-talk, you know, and comparing, you know, going on Facebook and comparing myself to what everybody else was doing. That was the worst. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't compare. One of my favorite sayings is begin where you are. And so when that became my mantra, it relieved a lot of stress. So that's what I would tell myself, that it will work out okay. And, you know, that's it. Just, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Just, you know what it is? Listen to your heart and listen to your gut and do what it tells you to do. Go in that direction. Don't go in the direction that you see somebody else go in. You know, take your authentic path. You'll never go wrong. And I think that's why my business name finally developed into Authentic Living and Wellness, because that's what I knew, what it took for me to feel great about what I was doing. And then when I felt great about what I was doing, and I authentically came across in public speaking or whatever I was doing, I was just standing up being me, not trying to be another health coach that I thought was amazing, or another counselor who I respected. I was just being me, so much more authentic, so much easier, and so much more real. And that is very endearing to people. And then that's when the success started coming.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's it. Just do what you know is right, and do what you know is you. Because that's powerful. Yeah, that's powerful when you do what you know to be you. Does that make
And really, that's the only thing you can do. If you really boil it down, I mean, it's what you're supposed to do.
But we always try to like do, oh, I want to be like her, or I want to be like what he's doing,
Right,
and just be you. People want you.
right. The end. I'm telling you, you don't have to work anymore.
I love my job.
Hey, all you have to do is be you. Thank you very
That's
much.
right.
And it's true, but it's so true. No, that's great. And you know what? It's just a reinforcement, because every time I talk to people, they say the same thing. It's like, be you, be you, be you, be real. You know, and hopefully the more times people hear that, the more, you know, they start to feel like, wow, it's okay to be me, right? Give yourself permission to be you, to do you, and that's when people will see, you know, the real results, because they're able to give people what they want.
Exactly. Be uniquely, strangely, weirdly you.
Right.
That people love that. They can see right through anybody trying to be somebody else, and it comes across as arrogant or pretentious and just really not nice qualities. And
Right.
that's not you at all. You're
Right.
probably, you know, amazing person, but because you're trying to be someone else or don't quite know who you are, and that's another thing. Just take the time to figure out who you are. Really, you know, the journaling is great in the beginning, writing down a mission statement or a mantra for your business and what you really want to bring to the world.
Excellent.
And then your choices are based on your ultimate goal, what you want to do for other people. And we started off our conversation saying that's really about giving to other people. That's it.
Yep. And, you know, giving you to other people will take you to that next level.
Yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed, 100%. Thank you for sharing that. So we're both a part of the Cooperatizing Network. That's how we met. That's why we're here. If you had a platform, which you do right now, to kind of enroll the group in a mission to kind of help you, or maybe vice versa, maybe you can share some ways that you can help them, what would you say?
Oh, okay. I love strategic partnerships and building strategic alliances with other practitioners. I always do free talks and wellness workshops. I'm going to be speaking at some retreats over the summer, women's retreats. So if you ever would like to showcase me as a speaker, that's great, or to offer to some of your people a 30-minute health counseling session as part of whatever you're delivering, that's fantastic. The wellness talks that I do, I'd love to have you come in and speak for the first 10 or 15 minutes and perhaps introduce your product, if it's maybe along the lines of what I happen to be talking about that night. I love partnering with other people. That's how I built my business, was partnering with other successful people. You know, that's you got to do that. You've got to be able to, if I went back to my former self, give it away for free at first. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Don't hold back. And then also partner with people who want to partner with you and are all about giving and partnering. It's just, it works.
Right.
It works.
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, that was good. If people were trying to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Phone. I'm always, as you know, I live, this phone is my computer.
Yep.
So should I give my phone number?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Please give me a call, 331-625-5588.
Excellent. And do you have a website or Facebook page or?
You know what? I'm rolling out a new website next week. It's authenticlivingwellness.com. There's one out there right now, but the nice ones will be there in a week.
There's always the next one coming, but
yes.
There's something there now. And I highly encourage everyone to go check it out, because if you've watched this interview, it's been pretty eye-opening for me. So I'm sure somebody's resonating as well.
Awesome.
So, I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time this morning. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been.
And we'll let
Thank you,
you.
Jeff.
No problem. This is my pleasure, and we'll let you get to your hot yoga class.
Yay!
For the rest of you, we'll see you guys online soon. Bye bye.